Well, there she is, brand new. And now it's all registered and legal. Let's go for a ride. My new acquisition. I've been talking about this bike for a long time, but now I pulled the trigger and she's all mine. It's a long story how I got this bike, but it's a fun one. I bought this bike back in March 15th, I think. Way back when the coronavirus thing wasn't as big as it is now. And my luck being my luck, I bought a bike, signed, put a deposit on it, and the very next day I was let go from my job. So that's always fun, to buy a brand new bike and get fired. Well, not fired, because I was called back eventually. I started going back to work about 3 weeks ago. But so, I bought a bike, I get laid off, and the dealership that sold me the bike, well, closed down temporarily for the pandemic. So I got this bike last week, so early May, so May 5th, I think. So I just got it, and even picking it up was one hell of a story, because I had to move back in you're taking a whole lot of space. I had to move back back with my parents for a while, because I'm in between renting a place because of life stuff. It's not fun, but it happens. And yeah, last week the dealership just reopened on Monday, so I called him. I called the guy who sold me the bike, and I'm like, hey, where can I pick it up? He's like, we're gonna check in the schedule when we have time, because there's a lot of bikes coming out of storage and people picking up brand new bikes with me, because every sale were pushed back, and deliveries. So I'm like, okay, and he specifically said, I'll call you back. And I was supposed, and then we talked, and we're like, Thursday would be good because the weather would be good, the rain warm enough. So I'm like, all right, just call me back to confirm and make sure. He's like, okay. So we hang up, and I'll wait. Monday I wait, Tuesday nothing, Thursday at like noon my phone rings, and it's another guy from the dealership who takes care of the delivery and stuff. And he's like, hey, did you forget about your bike? I'm like, what are you talking about, man? You were supposed to call me back. And he's like, I didn't know I was supposed to call you back, so are you gonna pick it up? So I was in a real big rush. I was like, oh yeah, give me 45 minutes, I'll be there. So I took all my gear, my F09, and I just went and picked up a new bike. And I work on the evening shift, so at noon, evening shift, it was really close on time to get back to work, because I had to go in and out of Montreal, so about an hour and a half of travel. So that's why I didn't have time to film my last ride with the FZ09 and my genuine first ride with this brand new bike that has 120 something kilometers on the clock. It's insane. It's a great bike. I love it. Like, this is my if you count the, taking it back from the dealership, this is my third ride. And let me tell you, for the price that I got this, it's the best money I could have spent on a machine like this. Like, everything is so, whoa, a lot of gravel. woohoo. Like everything is so good. Like I love my F-09. But last year I really saw the flaws in it. You know, the rough suspension, the brakes that were better since I did the Brembo Master Cylinder, and the pads and the lines, but it wasn't like this. This is a whole nother world of a bike. I didn't know that a bike could be this good. Like the throttle is so linear, the brakes, you think about braking and it doesn't. The suspension is stiff but compliant with bumps and cracks. It doesn't try to throw you off. And like like on my first or second ride, I noticed like two things that are really stupid but amazes me. The cruise control. This, like, look at this. You just go 2 seconds, press, and voila. My right hand, my thumb used to get so numb after, well, it still does, after about a ride of an hour and a half. With this, I can do like a 5 minutes like this and just go back to riding. This is insane. I love this. And take it back off, one, and boom, it's gone. And you're back on your own. Like, this is super cool. And the power is insane. And I haven't even barely scratched the surface. Because it's so good. I said it earlier. There's 120 kilometers on the clock. So it's still brand spanking new. I'm still breaking in the engine for the first 1,000 kilometers. But it's so good. Oh, that's a cop. So I'm not gonna floor it. I'm gonna go really smooth. Like, I don't have a whole lot of complaints about this bike. The riding precision is more aggressive than the F-09, but it's aggressive, but it was made this way. Oh, I totally lost my train of thoughts. But yeah, I don't regret this. There's a few specific things about this bike that I'm like, about. Like, the mirrors. They're big, but you don't really see a whole lot in them. Man, anyway, they're gonna go out. I'm gonna put some bar ends with this. And the headlights. This brand new in 2018, because, oh yeah, I didn't tell you this. This is a 2018, not a 2020 or 2019, so I got it for a deal. I got it for 14 instead of 1950 something, brand new in Quebec. So this is a lot of bike for their money. And for a nearly $20,000 bike, brand new, it still has halogen bulb and not even LEDs or HIDs. This is something that I don't understand. And no fuel gauge. That sucks, but you know, after a while you work the average that you should get. It's all good. Ooh, gravel, a lot of it. Quick shifter is awesome. And yes, I did put the shift light real early. I wasn't even close. But for the first 1,000 kilometers, you need to keep it under 7,000. And that's 6, you know? So that's why I put a shift light, because it's easy to get overly enthusiastic about it and just floor it and go overboard. And I don't want that. But it handles like a charm. Like the F-09, you would lean in and you would feel like you were on top of the bike, and it didn't give you a whole lot of confidence. You had to really like psych yourself in, like, okay, I'm doing this. But this, it glides in the corners. It's insane. It really is an amazing bike. Like, one thing I noticed, however, is It has 175 horsepower and 80 foot-pounds of torque, or 90. The Z09 had 105 horsepower and 80 foot-pounds of torque. So for a horsepower torque size, the Z09 had more. And from the stoplight, it's standing still. You have to give a little bit more gas to this bike than the Z09. The Z09, you could basically dump the clutch and it wouldn't care. But it's awesome. I love it. You're gonna see a whole lot more of it. I'm gonna do a few videos on this on very few mods. This is a near perfect bike as it is, so I'm not gonna go full on mods like I did with the Z09. So I'm gonna give you a tour. Yep. Like, neutral is a bit harder to find than the FZ, but yeah, that's a habit. Look at this bike. Just look at it. Okay, it's real dirty now because I have none of my cleaning stuff with me right now. Look at it. It's gorgeous. I just love this bike. This might be the last bike that I own. I love it. And actually,